Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. Juneteenth official holiday today, even though Juneteenth was yesterday. But hey, it's a Father's Day, Juneteenth kind of weekend. You celebrate it, you enjoy yourself, and all that good stuff. So today's word of the day is unfit. It's everything, not necessarily quality or standard to meet a particular purpose of a person, not in good physical condition, typically as a result of failure to exercise regularly, or basically something that's unsuitable or disqualifies. Now, so I'll use examples of the military, colleges, law enforcement organizations, um, fraternities, and sororities. Now, does this make these things any special than anybody else? I'm not going to go down that lane because it's not the point I'm trying to make here. The point I'm trying to make is to join specific organizations such as those, you have to meet criteria. You have to, from a physical fit standpoint, you have to, pass a series of aptitude tests. Certain instances you got to take polygraphs. You got to get a security clearance. A lot of times you just have to, it's all about seeing are you suitable in regards to lifestyle and mindset. So my mindset is everybody should employ those same kind of standards when it comes to the kind of people that you have in your life. Outside of people that you're blood related to, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. Doesn't mean you need to deal with your family. That's a whole nother story. My mindset is if you're making my life harder as a family, then you don't need to really be in my life outside of my own child and whatnot. Like that's different. But if you're a cousin, an aunt, uncle, even a parent that's making my life harder than it needs to be, then you got to go. So I'm gonna leave it at that. All right. But anyways, but when it comes to your friends, the people you choose to be a spouse with, significant other, whatever label you want to have, I have a thing about labels and titles and whatnot because to me they don't really mean much. It's all about what you do in your everyday actions that matter the most. Than a wedding ring, a last name. Because a lot of people have everybody has a last name for the most part, but what does that last name really mean? What does it really stand for? You marry somebody, you get their last name. Okay, what's next? All right, you have a legal document that's binding, and if you have your faith base, that's great. What's next? It's the same thing. You become a police officer, you're in the military. What's next? You join a sorority or fraternity. What's next? You open a business. What's next? These are just steps in life. Until you reach the last step, obviously, which is leads to death and whatnot. Unfortunately, because we're all going to die. But it's like, what is the next thing outside of semblance? It's like you take with politicians. They give you a good speech and whatnot, but what are they specifically doing for you? If nothing but a nice speech, then what's the point of voting for them? Because when you go to a store, you go there to buy something. Do you have the money, to buy it? Unless you're going to break the law, it's like, hey, it's quid pro quo. You got something, I want it, I'm going to pay for it, you give it to me, and it's the same thing with anything else in life, marriage, give and take, right? Being a parent for the most part is giving and whatnot. Um, but that's just, there's every action has a reaction in this life, but a lot of times people get clouded in the semblance of things to where it just makes them feel good inside, but the actual results as a whole mean nada, nothing. All right. Have a couple of Juneteenth quotes today. I hopefully you joined us live yesterday when I was on my YouTube and Facebook channel. Um, and to the hacker that tried to hack my Facebook account, nice try, buddy. But you picked the wrong one yesterday. That's all I got to say. But nice try. Um, and actually anyone out there that's has a business page on Facebook, if you see something about your Facebook business page that's going to be taken away within the next 12 hours if you don't click on this link, then don't do it. That's all I got to say. So today, one of the quotes, I'm going to read many quotes for Juneteenth because there's so many people from an African American standpoint, from descendants of slaves standpoint that contributed to Juneteenth. So Coretta Scott King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife, um, she stated, struggle is never an ending process. Freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it in every generation. And I could not agree with that statement more. Because in her generation, they had to fight for equal rights and whatnot, and voting rights and whatnot. And then, as the years progressed on, people were fighting to get in more specific, equal housing, um, when it comes to getting in career fields and whatnot. The only sad thing during the civil rights era with descendants of slaves, African Americans lost is that sense of economic self, economic privilege of owning your own business instead of just shopping in other people's businesses. That's the biggest thing that we lost. So And I see with my generation and the younger generation, we're trying to get back to that. And I say kudos to that on a regular basis. Frederick Douglass, knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. And that's why I chose the word unfit today, because it's so true. The one thing during slavery in the United States of America, you were not allowed to read and whatnot. Even Nat Turner and whatnot, he was allowed to read the Bible, but not all aspects of the Bible and whatnot. Just the aspects to keep people a slave and things of that nature. And and with that being said, he when his masters were not around, he would read other aspects of the Bible and like, okay, so not everything you're saying is true because I've done my research, because I've been taught how to read, I had the critical thinking skills to be able to think outside of the box, and whatnot. And that's the thing. Knowledge on any level, regardless of what race you are, makes you unfit to be a slave. The beautiful thing about the United States of America is that you're able to operate on so many different levels. And when you're constantly feeding your brain great information and engaging with people, that's why I chose the word unfit. When you're engaging with people who like to think outside of the box, who work within the box and then think outside of the box so that they can create their own box, that's the kind of people I want to be around. So I could not agree with that statement more. Malcolm X stated, you can't separate peace from freedom because no one can be at peace unless he has his freedom. And that's true. All countries have gone through their strife, whether good reasons or bad reasons, because people were fighting for equal rights and people were fighting for their freedom and whatnot. And that's Juneteenth obviously represents, the descendants of slaves in the state of Texas finally getting free 2.5 years later after the Emancipation Proclamation, which was issued by President Lincoln and whatnot. And so it's like being able to fight for your freedom, even from an economic standpoint. You got to fight for that every day. Even rich people have to fight for their economic freedom every day, because if they didn't, they would not stay abreast of how the economy is now, what's the projections of the economy of tomorrow, how their assets are doing now, how they're supposed to make moves in regards to moving their assets and moving their money and things of that nature. They don't just become millionaires and billionaires to sit on their butts. No, every day they constantly, it's like a mental workout and a physical workout all at the same time. They're implementing strategies and whatnot to get more tax write-offs, get access to capital, and buy more assets. That's just a thing that rich people do. All right. Desmond Tutu from South Africa stated, "My humanity is bound up in yours, but we can only be human together." I could not agree with that statement more. I love all people. I got nothing against anybody. I'm equal opportunity. If you're a good person, I'm with you. And I'm equal opportunity. If you're a bad person, I want nothing to do with you. But anyways, Kevin Basil stated, "Slavery is theft of a life, theft of work, theft of any property or produce, theft even of the children of the children a slave might have born." I could not agree with that statement more, because with that, having free labor in the United States of America, so many people were able to become rich, and so many other states, they basically built their economy on having a free labor. Just like in today's world, you have a lot of cheap labor. They have undocumented immigrants coming in to the U.S. and they pay them, crappy wages and whatnot, so that companies can save money. Everything's an economic move in the United States, regardless of sitting in the White House, governor's house, and mayor's house. Period. That's why I laugh at political nonsense nowadays. Michelle Obama, former First Lady, said, there are still many causes worth sacrificing for. So much history yet to be made. I could not agree with that statement more, because at the end of the day, there's so many things there's so many causes that are being done, and so much history that can still be made, especially having more first black economic tycoons, first black families that are owning a multitude of real estate, owning a multitude of businesses, helping employ people within their community and whatnot. That is the economic history that we care about the most in today's world of 2022 and moving forward. Not the stuff that was going on in the 1960s, because you can't always dwell on the past. Not even, and if when you do dwell on the past, let it be your umbrella. No, let it be your motivation to do better today, and hopefully for the generations to do better tomorrow. So that's how I look at that. Last one, but last but not least, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King stated, "If the cruelties of slavery could not stop us, the oppression we now face will surely fail. Because the goal of America is freedom, abuse, and scorn, though we may be, our destiny is tied up with America's destiny." And that's true. It's like the one great thing about us, Americans, we have gone through major atrocities. A lot, not to say that we're the only ones in the world that have, but as far as American history goes, we've gone through a multitude of atrocities, and we figure a way out to move forward and whatnot. Because if you always dwell on the bad thing that's happening to you, you can never move forward. You can never be progressive, and that's why having hate in your heart never does any good on any level. And I'm not with it at all. Don't be a hater. Don't be a play hater. It's not worth it. Life is too short. All right. On that note, family, do great three free things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Happy Juneteenth federal holiday. Greatly appreciate all the love everybody's always showing and whatnot. Don't forget to check out my online store. And also, if you're a crypto investor, stock market investor, individual retirement account investor, bond investor, think about signing up with WEBULL, crypto.com, Coinbase, Acorn, Stash. All the stuff is in the description. And as I always say, make money moves or you're going to live broke like a fool. Thank you for the Cash App and the Venmos and the PayPals and whatnot for Larry's and the Larry's Anything Goes donations that you guys give. It's always greatly appreciated. And hey, at the end of the day, keep doing your thing. Be positive. Be who you are. Don't let anybody, and I mean anybody, take your glow and take your shine away because it ain't worth it, family.
Mike, now.